Morning, y'all. I am out at one of my listings here in Marshall County, Tennessee. Just meeting with a surveyor, getting things cleaned up before we close. Wanted to talk a little bit today on something I run into a lot with rural properties. If it's just raw land, a lot of times there's no actual address, or official name would be a 911 address. So, you might live at, 123 Farm Lane if there's a house on it. But if there's no house or any structures, it may not have a 911 address yet. So you'll see a lot of listings, and some of mine too, that are, start with a zero Farm Lane, 0 Farm Road, whatever. Start with a 0, and that's because there's no actual 911 address yet. So if you're looking at buying or selling a property, and I'll probably just speak to it as if you're looking at it from a buyer's standpoint, you're buying a property that's 0 something road, and you buy it and you're trying to figure out, okay, how do I get an actual address? So what you're going to want to do is you're going to call the local dispatch, and if you can't find their number on Google, you can call the local electric company or co-op, and they should be able to give you that dispatch number, because the electrical, if you're trying to run electric to the property, if it's not already there, you'll have to meet with an electrical engineer. And so those guys deal with this all the time. They should have the dispatch number. But the electrical engineer won't come out until you have a 911 address. So you can call them, you can Google it, but call the dispatch, give them your personal info, tell them what road it's off of. They'll generate an address for you. So you'll go from 0 something road to 2500 something road. You'll have your 911 address. Now you can meet with the electrical engineer, pull utilities, all that. One step further, if you're going to be building on this property, it may be good to go ahead and register that address. Once you get the 911 address from dispatch, go ahead and go to www.gps.gov and register your address, your new address, in there. That way it's on GPS mapping, and if you order anything to the property, Amazon, whatever it might be, then it'll actually have a pin exactly where it's at on that road. Otherwise, it'll tell them to go to what road, but it won't tell them where to stop. So register it on gps.gov once you have it, if you're a buyer. And if you're a seller, it can help, if you've got a actual address. It really doesn't matter all that much. So if you do, as a seller, if you're going to sell your property and you do get a 911 address, just make sure to tell the new buyers to call dispatch and let them know, so they've got the buyer's information instead of yours once the property transfers. All right, y'all, that's the tip for today. Feel free to call or text or email with any questions, comments, or if you're doing anything here in Tennessee, land farm, recreational tracks, timber tracks, whatever it may be, give me a shout. My cell phone is 615-390-0229. Thanks, and have a blessed day.